Okay, is my screen visible? Can everyone see my screen?
Sir,
Yes.
Okay. So the last class we studied about uh, uh, OLAP and the various operations that are conducted under OLAP. Next, we will look at another one, product life cycle management. So, what is basically product life cycle? So, you have already studied what is product life cycle. So, it begins with the designing of the product and then its manufacturing, distribution to the customers and to the market, getting to the customer, and finally the end of life. And there were four stages of that, and each stage is from the growth stage to the decline stage we have already discussed. So basically, product life cycle management comes from controlling this product life cycle or determining the or forecasting the product life cycle. So that is what is the key concept of product life cycle management. So the four stages of product lifecycle management is given here: development and introduction, growth, maturity, stable, and decline. So we are handling the product life. So why do we have to handle product life cycle? So when introducing a product into the market or introducing a new technology into a product, the key concept is that we have to ensure that the product runs for a particular period of time so as to incur some profit. So that is the main aim of product lifecycle management. So we are looking for profit, to earn profit, and for that purpose we are first analyzing how long the product can last in the market. So it is basically a forecast. Okay, so we are designing a product in such a way that the product has to keep on running for the specified time period. So we will be specifying maybe for 5 years, maybe for 10 years. So if you are specifying such a time, the product must run in the market for such a time. So for that purpose, we are managing the product life cycle. So we are giving it some attractive features. So we are giving it some quality, or we are giving it some, we are lessening the price, etc. These are all ways to ensure that the product stays in the market, hence ensuring a longer product life cycle. So that is the um, function of product lifecycle management. That some of the important points to be kept in mind are: product lifecycle management handles a firm's approach to various phases of the product's development through its ultimate decline. So it will have four stages, right? We'll be controlling all the four stages. So the first is the development and introduction. We'll be controlling that by means of putting out advertisement. Instead of first releasing it, first we are putting advertisement, and we'll be keeping a launch date, so people will be attracted to that product and then they will be waiting for that launch. So this is all part of that product to be introduced. So that is coming under the introduction stage. Then comes the growth stage, right? So people have to keep on using it and tweaks in it, or we are keep giving it some design changes based on customer feedbacks and all. And after that, that is coming in the growth stage. And after that comes the maturity or the stability state, where the product is being filled in the market, or it is being used by everyone, or every consumer. So it is being saturated in the market. So that is coming in the maturity or stability stage. So we are controlling it. Okay, we are controlling the production rate, and by increasing the production rate, so many products will be available, and that product will be in turn sent to the market, and it will be saturated in the market. So that is coming under the maturity or stability stage. And if you are seeing, there is a gradual decrease in the buying of that particular product, then we are coming into the declining stage, right? So we are ensuring that during even the declining stage, we will keep on producing it to attain the maximum profit. So that is always the deadline there. We have to attain that profit, but it is a common knowledge that it will always decline. The product will always decline after some time due to the technological upgrades that is happening, right? So that is how we manage product life cycle to its ultimate decline. Then PLM is product lifecycle management, involves all stages, including the development and manufacturing of the product to its marketing and customer segmentation. So each stages control various aspects, and from the development of the product till the customer, it is being controlled. So that is the stages related to product life cycle is being controlled by product life cycle management. Then the main benefits of using PLM includes shortening product development time. So if we are forecasting it, we can take some time only for product development time as product development. So we have already discussed such a thing during agile manufacturing, wherein we were only focused on producing product as early as possible so as to keep the demand alive. Same thing is happening here. When we are managing such a forecast, we can shorten the product development time, so we can in turn produce more products. That is the main purpose here, by shortening product development times. Then knowing when to ramp up or reduce manufacturing efforts. So we are already deciding various systems and planning systems to cooperate a process and standardized process wherein it takes lesser time to increase the productivity. So by increasing the productivity, we'll be increasing the number of products that is being manufactured. That's what is called as ramp up or reduce manufacturing efforts. Ramp up in the sense increase productivity, reduce manufacturing effects during the decline stage of the product life cycle. So during the decline stage, the productivity must be because the product is the demand for the product is decreasing. So according to that, we have to reduce the manufacturing efforts. And finally, how to focus marketing efforts. So if you don't give any marketing efforts such as media, using advertisement through media, um, people feedbacks, etc., marketing efforts, there will the decline stage or the product life cycle will be shortened. Period will be shortened. So marketing is one of the main components for increasing the time period for product life cycle. So these are some of the main benefits of product life cycle management. Then effective product lifecycle management brings together that many companies, departments, and employees involved with the product's production to streamline their activities with the ultimate goal of producing products that outperforms competitors is fast as long as consumer demand technology permits. So that is the what we are doing is we are controlling various departments, employees that are involved in product production. How they are being controlled? We are controlling them to streamline their activities. So always I have mentioned before, streamlining is nothing but the ensuring a continuous workforce. So all the work will be continuous. There will be no delays. So such a thing is called planning under enterprise resource planning. So we have already learned about enterprise resource planning, and the main summary was nothing but to streamline activities related to production. In the same manner, in product lifecycle management also, we are bringing together the employees and departments to streamline their activities with the ultimate goal of producing a product that outperforms its competitors. So a similar product may be of some categories or some changes may be presented by a competitor field or a competitor market that is present in the market. So they will also producing such a product, and our main goal is always our product must be the best. So customer can buy it, and we can incur more. It is not uh, many can produce the same product. So always we must produce a product that is more to the customer than the competitor's product. They must incur profit or as soon as and is present. With an application technology, obviously the product will be ultimately time, and also consumer demand also is another factor for product life. So that's the basic summary of product lifecycle management. It goes well beyond just setting up bill of materials. So bill of materials we'll be learning later. So that time I'll explain. So these are the stages of product lifecycle. The PLM systems helps organization cope with increasing complexity and engineering elements of developing new products. So we are managing, or basically we are planning how the product life cycle is being determined. So we are determining that. So it helps organization to cope up with the increasing complexity. So increasing complexity occurs when technology updation occurs, and it will take some time for the training program to reach the said employees and them to work it. So if you are managing such a system, or if a managing system is present for during that technological updation, it will reduce the complexity and the engineering challenges um, uh, when facing during the development of a new product. So that is how PLM systems helps the organization. Then PLM are considered one of the four cornerstones of manufacturing corporation information technology structure. So IT field is playing a major role in an MNC for during the management. So that is what is basically the main part of this module. So enterprise resource planning was based on an IT field, right? So PLM is another system that is implemented in this IT field for along with the customer relation management, that is the CRM, SCM, that is the supply chain management, and ERP, that is enterprise resource planning. So apart from three of these, PLM is also another cornerstone for manufacturing corporations information technology structure. So these four deal with the planning operations, or the basics of controlling the product production, customer relation, etc. Okay, so these are all coming under IT fields. Now, what are the benefits of using product lifecycle management? First one is improved product quality and reliability. So we will be obviously obtaining nice product quality to ensure that the product stays longer in the market and consumer demand is high. For that purpose, product quality is maintained, and also its reliability. Reliability in the sense defective products will be less, and also the product may work or function for at least the a longer span of time, so that people always buy it, right? They don't require a product that fails immediately or fails after a short time. They will never buy such a product. Once they, if they buy it, then if it is failing under that smaller period of time, then obviously they don't require that product. They will prefer other product or the competitor fails product that is not required. So for that purpose, product life cycle management is helpful, because it will always improve product quality and reliability. Next, reduced prototyping cost. So this is basically a forecast. So implementing a forecast always reduces prototyping cost. Products are produced during the production cycle after the designing phase, to ensure that if it serves the function as mentioned by the objective. So the objective here is to ensure a product that functions according to the customer's demand, and that function is stated as an objective. And if it is satisfying the objective only, then it is introduced in the market, right? So for that purpose, we are always creating a prototype, and the prototype is created with this ultimate aim of always seeing if it is keeping according to that function, or it is keeping according to the standards. So if it is not kept under that standard, then we have to create further prototypes, right? So always creating a prototype is not that beneficial, because that product is being destroyed. And if we are looking for various tests and that is not being sold to the customer, so cost is given by the company itself for prototyping. So such a cost is always a waste. And due to that, if you are controlling by the product prototyping by product lifecycle management, always the cost will be less, because of the forecast it keeps in mind. So always the prototyping cost will be reduced. Next one, more accurate and timely request for code, that is solicitation from suppliers. So timely request in the sense there will be always orders. Okay, the market may be replenished by that product on basis of this orders. So orders will be coming in from time to time to the company, and this is because you are planning ahead to keep the market alive. We are planning ahead that the product must have such and such features, and it must be attracted to the customer, so they will buy that product, so we can replenish the market with the sufficient product. These are all coming under management or that forecast cycle. Next, quick identification of sales opportunities and revenue contribution. So when you are planning it, we are planning it for each and every stage, right? For the 4 stages of the product life cycle itself, we are planning. So according to that, during the growth and the maturity stage, we are always involved with increasing the productivity or increasing the product inside the market. And for that purpose, we can quickly identify if you need more sales or if you need more products. And also we can incur, we can also calculate the uh, major profit that we occur, and maybe even higher, but according to forecast we can only predict it to up to some level of profit. So uh, these are some of the benefits of product lifecycle management. Then savings through reuse of original data. So even if there is a technological update occurring, we can re-engineer the product. If there is only a small change, we can re-engineer by using the original data itself. So the main product will be kept there and the changes will be implemented to it. That is also another benefit of product lifecycle management. The framework for product optimization. So that's one of the main points. So why do we have to optimize the product? If you don't optimize the product, we will be incur additional cost which will reduce the level of profit we are earning. So for that purpose, we are optimizing the product, or streamlining the workflow to produce the product as fast as possible with as less cost incurred. So that is the main aim here. So that is also another benefit of product lifecycle management. That obviously reduced waste years in managing the will improve we are implementing manufacturing system into the product life cycle management that improved ability to manage seasonal fluctuation. So what is seasonal fluctuation? Some components or some products are demanded during seasons. One example is nothing but for air conditioners, right? Air conditioners are required during basically during summertime, right? In winter time, no one prefers such a thing. So productivity of air conditioners will be concentrated during summer period rather than winter period. So that is what is the difference here. So we are managing such a seasonal fluctuation. According to season, some products will be needed, and we can manage such a seasonal fluctuations easily by means of product life cycle management. So that is what is also coming under benefits of product life cycle management. Then last two, improved forecasting to reduce material cost. So one of the major costs that is coming under production is material cost that we have already termed as the waste under lean manufacturing. And material cost uh, always reduces the profit, and we can reduce it by forecasting. So forecasting is the main thing that is being done under product life cycle management, and obviously due to that forecasting it always reduces the material cost. And the last one, maximized supply chain collaboration. So supply chain will be learning in the next topic, and we'll be discussing about supply chain during that time. So that is what is coming under product lifecycle management. And the next topic is supply chain management. So what is basically supply chain management? So we have already studied in these 5 modules various planning processes, manufacturing techniques, etc. Right? Basically, this complete procedures that we have already learned is basically a supply chain management. So uh, it begins with the development of the product, or from the design stage itself till the customer so we have already studied all that manufacturing process, right? That whole process is in termed as supply chain management. So your subject itself was supply chain management. In the previous years and all, it was that subject was termed as supply chain management, but during your scheme only it is been changed into industrial systems and engineering. But it is basically supply chain management, or it is an industrial engineering. Okay, so we are controlling from the development of the product till the customer output. So that is our customer chain. So you can see here, from the procurement of raw materials, it will be obtained through to the company from a supplier, and after that manufacturing is being done, then it is distributed to the market, and from that distribution through by means of air, water, or land, then goes to the market, that is a retail location, and finally to the customer. So these all comes under supply chain management. So you can see the definition here. Supply chain management is the management of flow of goods and services, and includes all process that transforms raw materials into final products. Till the customer also, it is a supply chain management. Okay, don't be confused, as it will always be from raw materials to final product. From the final product to the distribution, market, and customer also comes under supply chain management. Then it involves the active streamlining of business supply side activities to maximize customer value and gain competitive advantage in the market. So the term supply itself, we know that it is always dealing with the end product. So the product must be um, managed to gain competitive advantage. So we have to gain competitive advantage to prefer, or the customer has to prefer the product, our product, so as that company can keep the demand alive and thereby incur profit. So that is the ultimate aim, right? So only if you control that supply, or supply according to that customer demand, then only you can keep the competition alive. And for that purpose, we have to streamline the business or the activities that is used or performed during the manufacturing stage. And that control is basically coming under supply chain management. So what is the importance of doing supply chain management? So basically three important types. First one is identifying potential problems. So we have already known to find out these problems, we were using lean manufacturing techniques, right? Such techniques are still being used, and it is the main part of supply chain management. So we will be identifying potential problems. So potential problems comes from the production cycle. During the production cycle, there will be problems. We have already discussed about the various wastes that are included during that manufacturing field. So such and such problems, maybe problems from the customer itself. That means the if the product is not functioning according to that objectives by the customer, so that is also a problem, right? And that for that purpose we are always releasing a beta version to a sufficient number of people to obtain a feedback, right? That is also a problem, and if we are identifying such a problem, we can rectify it, then produce a product, much an effective product, much more efficient product in the market. And that is one importance of supply chain management, and it helps in problems. Next one is optimizing price. So price is nothing but reduce the cost incurred by the company, not the price of the uh, product that is being released to the customer, rather the price that is incurred by the product during the production cycle, so that if we are optimizing it or keeping it at a minimum, then we can incur more profit, or the gain that we obtain will be marginally high. And that is the function of supply chain management, wherein we can optimize price dynamically. And last one, improving the allocation of available to promise inventory. Available to booked order, right? Some we booked earlier, and such an orders are a promise. We will be promising them, we will be delivering it, and according to that only we are starting the manufacturing process. So that concept was basically coming under just-in-time manufacturing method. So under just-in-time manufacturing method, we were creating or uh, producing the product as per the orders received from the customer. So we are receiving an order from the customer, and basically they are booking that order. That order is being booked, right? And it is a promise actually. It is a promise that you will be producing that product and then delivering it to you, right? So that is coming here. So if you are already having such a product in an inventory, you can obviously satisfy that need within a few span of time, instead of using that just-in-time manufacturing system. It will just-in-time manufacturing system take some time, right, to deliver that product. But if it is already stored in an inventory, you can obviously send that product to the customer, and such an inventory can be maintained according to a forecast or according to the customer demand. So we will always be known that if you require 200 products each day, then we are always keeping in mind, or always the objective is to produce that 200 products, or always the objective is that the 200 products must be present in that inventory so that we can give that products to the customer or to the market. So that is always the main ultimate aim there, and that comes in handy when using supply chain management. So that are the three importance of using supply chain management. Next, we will look at some of the components of supply chain management. So there are basically 5 components: planning, sourcing, manufacturing, delivery, and logistics, returning. So we'll look each and every one of them. First one is planning. So what we are planning? We are planning to manage all resources required to meet customer demand for company's product or service. So we are planning such a way that all the resources. So we are already discussed about enterprise resource planning, and we have already discussed what are the resources coming under a manufacturing plant. And these resources are planned in such a way that we have to keep the customer demand alive, and we have to produce a product depending upon the customer demand. So that all comes under planning. And when the supply chain is established, determine metrics to measure whether supply chain is efficient, effective, and it is delivers value to the customers, and thereby meeting company goals. So company goals are always set to attain productivity or to attain profit. The end result is always to attain profit, right? And we are also checking that if the customer is satisfied with that product. Okay, if they are deeming it ineffective, then we have to make tweaks into it so that it can be uh, acceptable. It will be acceptable by the people. So for that purpose, we are doing planning. Then comes sourcing. What is sourcing? To create the product. So we are looking for suppliers to provide us raw materials and various materials that are required for production process. Okay, and that is what is called known as sourcing. And if you are taking a supplier, or if you are obtaining a supplier with the uh, for procuring raw materials at the lowest cost or the minimum cost possible, then you can obviously more profit, and that is also another aim of supply chain management. Then the third one is the product, the product development process. Here we are organizing activities, all the activities involved in under uh, production cycle, and these activities are kept at a streamline, or the work is in a continuous flow without any delays, and we are manufacturing product up to the quality. Then we are packaging it for shipping and storing in inventory. This all comes under manufacturing side of supply chain management. Then comes delivery and logistics. So we are coordinating customer orders. Customer orders coming, will be booking, or we'll be having an already a customer order that is maybe 200 items, such and such. So these orders will be coordinated, and will be scheduling deliveries. Maybe for today, if you have to deliver 200 products, then that much will be delivered. Or if you have to deliver it in the following day, then we'll be again scheduling that. So such a deliveries are scheduled and then dispatched to the customer or to the market, and that is coming under delivery and logistics. Then finally the returning. So some products may be defective, or there may be excess products, or unwanted products will be present, and such a product will be always returned. So you have already known about that facility when using Amazon, Flipkart, etc., right? You have a policy to return that product if it is deemed to be uh, defective. So for that purpose, that also comes under supply chain management. So these are some of the components of supply chain management.